Hey, yo, welcome to the QB School Show. Fired up. Easton Coleman, this is a good question. What was your motivation to get how far you have gotten? I'm not sure how far I've gotten, but let's assume you're talking about playing in the NFL. For me, the motivations, like anything, are a little bit nested. And what I mean by that is there are multiple motivations. It's not just, hey, I want to be the best ever to play. I was never close to that realm, so I never had that motivation. But it was always multiple motivations. So for me, in high school, I really wanted to play Division I football. And the reality of it is I just wasn't good enough. And that's just the truth. And so I think I didn't want to accept it, ended up going to the best Division II school I could find. And that motivation there was I wanted to prove everybody wrong. I just wanted to prove everybody wrong. Anybody who didn't recruit me, I was trying to get you fired. I was that type of mentality where I was really coming in there and had a lot to prove to every single school that didn't recruit me, which was essentially every school. So I was pissed at every school. And so that was my motivation in college. In the league, I think originally the motivation is to make the team. Or for me it was, I wasn't a first round pick. I wanted to be on the team. I wanted to be an NFL player. And then that quickly translated into, once you made the team, to, hey, I want to be an NFL veteran. Like I need to get vested. I want to make this thing stick around. And so I had a lot of great mentors. One of them is the head coach at the College of Idaho, Mike Morosky. He was our offensive coordinator at Davis when I was at Davis as a college student athlete. He and I had a great conversation once about the secret to being an NFL quarterback and really to being a professional in anything at a high level. All of a sudden, you got to find a way to be able to stick around, add value. And all of a sudden in the league, 1 year turns into 2 turns into 4, and 4 turns into 8 really quickly. And so it's about being able to add value wherever you go and become a resource for that team, make that team better. And so for me, I really thought about that and really wanted to hit those milestones as far as what it looked like. It's very important for guys in the NFL because your careers are so short to really get vested, and that vested number keeps coming down. But I think once you get past that vested amount, you obviously want to make as much money as possible, but you also want an opportunity to play. So you want to make money, you want to become vested, you want to be in a good opportunity, you want to be in a good organization. Now, my standpoint, I got cut and traded, mostly cut so many times that I didn't have a whole lot of options. But when I did have an option, I always wanted to go to what I thought was the best run organization. Now, it's different for different guys depending on where they fall on the free agent spectrum. But for me, that was always one of the things that I looked at. But at the end of the day, you're a professional. You want to get paid. You understand that this time is short. It's the greatest temporary job you'll ever have. And so that was the motivation. And so it was always all right for me for that motivation to change. I still was pissed off that I was getting cut and had that motivation to prove people wrong. That never left. I think it simmered as it became not as important once I kind of proved to myself that, hey, I'm worthy, I deserve it. I was missed on in college. I proved that element of it wrong. But at the same time, I still think I want to play. I still think I can play. I still think I can add value. I still love to compete. All those things were all of my motivation. So it was never just one thing. I think for me, don't have the mindset it has to be so simple that my motivation is one thing. I think it can be one thing for a time, but it can also evolve and change. I remember after my sophomore year, my third year of college, first year playing as a sophomore, we were all right. I wasn't great by any means. And I went to the banquet. And the banquet, they did like this long extended highlight film thing with like an audio overview from our play-by-play guy. And I remember explicitly, like it was yesterday, he said I had a good sophomore season, but I was inconsistent. And it just, seared in my brain. I went home, wrote inconsistent on my bathroom mirror. I sketched it into my bed so I would see it every single day. And so my whole motivation was to not be inconsistent the following year. And so just looking for weird things like that, that's just how my mind worked. And I still have friends that I lived with those years in a fraternity house that still talk about the inconsistent. It's probably still, sketched into a bedpost somewhere. So those type of things motivation-wise. But for me, I just always like to tell people, your motivation can evolve just like you can evolve as a person. Don't get it twisted that just because you want to prove people wrong and that's all you really want to do, that has to stay within you. That has to be your only motivation. That can be a element of it. You can also want to be the best player you can be. You can also just want to play with your friends. There's many different levels of what that motivation looks like. I appreciate the support for the RPO course. A couple weeks old now. But again, what I like to tell people, and I'm being honest here because I create all the content over here. We're almost 500 videos into the YouTube channel. The RPO course, in my opinion, is by far the best thing that I've ever created, content-wise. And so it's just goes into as much depth as I can possibly create for RPOs, and really gives kind of a holistic approach to multiple buckets, whether you're a coach, player, fan, parent, all those things are kind of touched on and built upon. So again, I really appreciate the people who have already bought it, already enrolled, already enjoying it. And if you're thinking about it, please reach out, let me know, and enroll. I appreciate it.